Going on, guys? Here we got the new projects. They're both 300ex's. This one is a 2001 frame, and this is a 1993 frame. And there's some things about them that kind of noticed that this one here, is a lot newer, but you can tell it has a lot more mileage on it and was beat on a lot worse. I'll show you that in a second. And this one here is really nice shape. It wasn't very rusty. It was pretty easy to clean up and paint. This one here, I painted it all up and realized that I had a crack. It was, cracked around the top here, around the bottom here, and I just finished fixing that up and repainted this area. And then while I was cleaning it up, I realized that somebody had weld repaired the upper motor mounts, so that's not real good. But either way, pretty much what I plan on doing is that the blue one's going to get a lot more new parts, nicer stuff, and this one here is kind of going to use things I already have that's not new, good stuff, but just not new. And I also put in this upper bar right here. I welded those in so I can put 400EX bumpers on. So the 400EX bumpers has a lot more selection, and when you're shopping for them and that, and they're usually like bigger, a little bit bigger, and I like the bigger bumpers. So and it gets rid of the little VIM plates. Both these frames came off of Craigslist, and it's it's hard telling where they came from, or how somebody stole it in the past. I don't want anything to do with it. But I bought them, so the only place there is a number on them is this plate right here, and getting rid of it just eliminates any problems I'm going to have with it. And welder I used to work on these is a little stick welder, 70 amp, and it works really well on doing repairs or putting something in on these frames. It does a really good job of penetrating. Matter of fact, it still will burn through sometimes, so you have to be careful, but it's not, as soon as you arc off of it, you blowed it in half. So it works really well. So working on the A-arms, I'm going to try to fit them in, and pretty much I'm just going to stick all the bolts in and try to set all the adjustment nuts so that the camber's correct, and then take the arms back off. And I want to like clear coat. I can't really like paint them because then they'll be in the arm, and I don't want so I'm just going to clear coat them, and then it won't affect the finish of the arm and this. But I decided to put car ball joints on both bikes, and you see that those arms back there for this bike, and the ball joints on them are good. But one of the things about putting 400 arms on a 300EX is that the bolt that holds, or the nut that holds the tie rod in, is that when you turn the steering one way all the way, it'll run into the edge of the A-arm. So given that these car tie rods bring everything out a little bit more, my hopes are that I won't have that nut running into the arm. So I decided to put them on both. But one of the things I'm already noticing is that, here we have a brand of who knows what, another brand of who knows what. All these are, well, actually, these two are the same brand, came in the same kind of box, and they're different. So, and then you can see, if I try to get them so they're all center, but you can kind of see that the nut ends up being in a different spot. And I know that I was like at the edge of my life. I mean it was, out here somewhere as far as the adjustment of the upper one. So, these two here are really, really close. That's not an issue. It's just this one that's irritating me. They was in the same make of box. But, so I might have to do some kind of something funny with this one to try to fix it, or I don't know, maybe I'll just have to find another one. Alright, so I got a little bit of a mock-up here. It's just nothing's tightened down or anything. I just have the bolts in there, and then that one tie rod end that was kind of different from the rest. I ended up, basically this is probably cross-threaded on here now. It was ran down, and then I put it in a vise, and I put as much torque on this as I could to run it down further, and it'll work just fine. It's not going to come loose or anything. It'll be tight forever. But if I was to ever take this set nut off, it would be screwed. So it got everything to where where it's supposed to be. I'm not sure if it's exactly where it needs to be, but pretty much I want to take these back off, clear coat them so that this right here is just bare metal, and so it's close. If I need to move it a little bit, but this is a 14 1/8 right here. Eye to eye on that shock. The stock or a 300EX, depending on which shocks you have, they are different. There's 12 7/8, and they go to about 13 1/8. So this is upgraded, and now I'm measuring from here to right here where the brake caliper bolts up. And this thing's straight. It is 2 5/8 wider than what a 300EX would normally be, with 400 arms and these tie rods in here as ball joints. Alright, so I've been kind of standing here thinking about how I want to go about doing all this, and I was talking about just getting all this properly aligned and then clear coating these joints, because they're bare metal and I don't want them all rusty. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and take everything apart for more than one reason. I want to change, or I need to put the steering stem bearings in there, and I just think it's going to be easier, especially this getting the seal in the bottom, being able to stand the frame up and that. But one thing about painting things like this is that I got to put it all together, and you see here I paint all the hardware, but oftentimes by the time I get it together, half the paint's missing off of it. And that's what I was thinking about with these, is I'd have it all lined up, and then I could put, I was going to do clear coat so I wouldn't have paint covering, have a mess, but I'm just going to go ahead and paint them. And then I'll get them steering stem bearings ordered, and I'll see you guys next time. Catch you later.